I just watched the Samsung Galaxy XR event, and to say the least, we got to see the Snapdragon that's running it, we got to see the design, the integration of Google applications, and we got to see nearly a 30-minute presentation live without any hiccups. I think we can safely say Apple is in trouble. Hello, friends. My name is Nathan. I just wanted to cover the Galaxy XR event. I watched the entire thing from start to finish. I came in with low expectations, and I am shocked, to say the least. So first and foremost, we've been waiting for this presentation for nearly 2 years, back when Samsung announced it at the end of their presentation to the previous Unpacked events where they teased it several times saying coming soon. It's been a long time in the works. Reason being, I think Samsung was wanting to play it safe, especially after Apple announced their Apple Vision. They wanted to take a safe approach and go back to the drawing boards and see if they could tweak some things. And this is one of those scenarios where it was significantly worth the wait. Let's go ahead and talk about what we saw at the presentation. So in terms of design, this is the only thing that I'm actually worried about because the Apple Vision Pro 2 just got announced and they kind of tweaked the design because of how painful it was on people's nose, right? And from the looks of it, Samsung is going the approach of the Apple Vision Pro 1, where it's two individual pieces, one strap, there's nothing around the head. So fingers crossed it isn't going to be super heavy. I believe Samsung used plastic versus Apple used metal. So hopefully there is some weight distribution elsewhere that makes it still premium feel, but without the weight of, putting a dent in your nose. Also, in terms of controls, it seems like everything is going to be gesture based. We watched the presentation and they nearly controlled the entire thing just with a pinch design, right? So pinch and hold to drag items to move yourself in virtual reality, and then pinch to grab items, pinch to confirm an item, etc. The only thing that we saw that was actually on device in terms of controls was seemed to be a double tap that's going to be a quick action to take you into an immersive environment. So you double tap it to put yourself in a virtual reality environment where you have floating overlays, etc. But then once you double tap it, it's going to take you to an immersive environment. Depending on what you choose, whether it's a desert, etc., you have the freedom to choose what you want to do. But I think that is pretty cool how it's just a double tap and it knocks out any extra steps and it's on device. The only other button that we did see, at least in the presentation, it seems to be a top button on the top right of the handset, or I guess you could say face set. My bad. On the handset is going to be, it looks like a Gemini button because at least the first time they pressed it, it activated Gemini, and then they seem to have just been able to just quick call Gemini just by saying Gemini. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work. But from the original, they did tap it the first time, and Gemini did pop up. So yeah, I mean, in terms of controls, pretty solid. And watching it on conference, watching it on the Unpacked event, I mean, it was fluid. Like they were super confident in what they were doing. There was never any lag, so that processor is definitely kicking in. It was using the new Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Plus 2 processor. I believe that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I apologize. But I don't think we really have a reference from anything beforehand. They were kind of, bouncing on how faster it is compared to the other model. I don't know what the other model is. We don't have a practical use of the other model. But from performance that we got to see on the live demo, it was pretty solid. Because you got to keep in mind, not only was it doing the live demo, but it's also screen recording the entire interaction. And I mean, they were running Gemini on there, VO3 on there. They were having the screen recording live. They had the preview of the audience live. I mean, they were doing several things on that handset while it being on screen recording. It was pretty much polished and flawless. Obviously, there was some lag due to not necessarily the handset, but due to the connection of translating that. But to say the least, I mean, that was smooth. So in terms of performance, I think it's good. I don't think we have nothing to worry about. That was a spectacular performance, and I'm not gonna lie, that really changed my perception on this handset. And to get to the other things, we're also going to talk about the Google integrated services, right? So obviously the big thing in the room is app support. If there's no app support, it's going to fail right off a launch, just kind of like how the Apple Vision did. I mean, if there's no services, then what is the point? Now, luckily, this is running Android XR, meaning there is a significant amount of services built in, baked right out of the box just from Google. Whether that's Google Maps, where you can preview anything in the world on Google Maps, and in select areas, you can actually go inside the restaurants or the buildings itself, to asking Gemini about these interactions as well. But I mean, everything Google. They even integrated YouTube in there, and they have some 180 XR videos, etc., already baked, ready to go. And that's only going to expand with the release of this item, which is super great, right? Now, let's go ahead and talk about, the elephant in the room, Gemini. And I think this is actually really cool, right? Because Gemini has always been a add-on to our smartphone experience, right? But it looks like with Android XR, it was baked in from the ground up. So Gemini is mostly how you're going to be utilizing this handset, and that is a complete opposite of Apple's Vision Pro, because everything is going to be super. They don't have any AI. Let's just be honest. They don't have any AI, right? So you can't call upon anyone. Maybe you can call upon Siri for easy actions, but to actually conversate, it looks like it even had Gemini Live in there, which is steps ahead of Apple. That is insane. That is extraordinary, right? And it was running well. I mean, there was a funny part in the live conference where every time he asked Gemini something, Gemini's like, "Give me a minute," for every response, but it was still quick. Hopefully you can turn that setting off, because that was kind of annoying. But I mean, it looks like Gemini is integrated everywhere, whether it's YouTube, whether it's your photos, whether it's just web browsing, whether it's um, asking questions. Circle to Search was on the handset as well, and that is extraordinary, and it did really well, and it did really, really well. But to say the least, Gemini is built in from the hands up, and that is going to be a huge edge that they're going to have against Apple, against Meta, where those are just kind of like second ideas that are just getting thrown into the handsets, which ultimately make it feel much smarter, much more premium, and more convenient, to say the least. Another cool interaction was the Google Photos, where you can also, just like how Apple did, use spatial, what do they call it? Spatial photos and spatial videos, where you can physically bring your photos and videos to life within the Google Photos application. That's huge. That's available in every Android product. So going forward, that's going to be a cool thing to do. Now, another thing was they did do a Google Meet call. However, there seemed to have been two different implementations. Obviously, it being a Galaxy XR, it seems like they brought the forgive me for what if I don't know what the name is. I believe it's called XR emojis, the Samsung counterpart to Genmojis. They're bringing that inside the video call. And once again, just like the app, everything is just kind of like it is much better. Like it did do the hearts, and it was reading motion very good. I got to give props there, but the mouth was just kind of off. However, Google did tease their implementation, which was called Google Likeness. And it seemed to be like a counterpart of what Apple did, where it's creating yourself in a virtual space. Um, and from what I saw, it looks pretty good. I don't know what that lady looks like in real life, but at least the presentation, the avatar that was being used by that lady looked like a real human. And it was pretty good. And they even had the hands pop up time to time where she was talking, and it looked good. And that is coming soon. So it's not fully available yet, but I'm sure by the time this thing comes out, it will be out, which is pretty funny. I just thought it was funny how Samsung had their version, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna like that. Just having the little Samsung emoji versus actually making it your actual person. I think a lot of people are gonna find that useful, and they're going to resonate with that, because especially in the virtual reality world and the live streaming world, that seems to be becoming more popular. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. This was going to make or break the device. And this was something I was concerned about, considering it was being made by Samsung in collaboration with Google, but especially by Samsung. I was worried about the price. You know, knowing Samsung, I thought they were going to meet Apple right where they were, right? The Apple Vision Pro, the second iteration of it, it retails for $3,500, $3,500. I really thought Samsung was going to match the price or be 3,000, right? And this was the biggest shocker in the room. And even on the conference, people started gasping because I don't think anybody was expecting this. But the price of the Galaxy XR headset is $17.99. Still expensive. I'm not doubting that. I'm not, diverting that. It's still a hefty price, but it's nearly half the price of what the Apple Vision is, and it's doing significantly more than what the Apple Vision is, and it has more integration than what the Apple Vision is, and it has more app support than what the Apple Vision has. This is huge. This is a slap to Apple's face. This is going to be great. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I did not expect Samsung and Google to come out the park this hard. This is insane. This is blowing my mind. And I think the verdict of all of this just makes me more excited for Galaxy AR and Google AR. Simply for the fact that I most likely won't buy this device. However, I am looking forward to the Google glasses. And fun fact, Samsung also announced that they're going to bring their own version of, Galaxy glasses, I guess what they'll call them. This made me super excited for the future because if this is what we're getting in the XR, this only means that it's going to be just as good on the Android XR with the glasses by whatever Parker Berry and the Gentle Monster. We got to see a press conference on those, back in Google I/O not too long ago, and it was pretty solid. Besides the lag, and to see how far this has come in just a short amount of time, it seems like Google is really putting their guns where their mouth is, and they are really doing some outstanding work in the software department, and I'm looking forward to that mostly. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you watch the video? How do you feel compared to the competition? Would you rather just buy, some metas? Be honest, the metas are getting pretty solid too. Besides the big SpongeBob ones, I still think those are too bulky, personally. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Try to keep it short. Try to keep it quick. Let me know what you think. Please make sure to drop a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.